Today's review is this beer. It's from Love Lane, available in home bargains for $1.49. It is a Kiwi Pale, but what's it going to be like? Can it be as good as the New England IPA from Love Lane, or will it falter like the Nectaron IPA? Keep on watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. I'm going to switch the lights on. Yeah, that doesn't make much difference, but there we go. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today, I'm going to be reviewing a beer from Love Lane. Again, you might have seen the Nectaron one. I wasn't very happy with it. I didn't think it was very good. There was quite a lot of comments that came in that said, well, actually, thinks it's all right. And, so maybe I had a bad one. And I won't dwell on it too much on this video, but, there was a few comments, recent videos that I did for the supermarkets about the fact that they're not cold chain, the fact that you don't know how good the quality is of the actual beer because you don't know how it's been stored at the supermarkets. It will obviously get worse. It will never get better than what it was when it released. And I think that's an issue. But that aside, there was someone that said that this one was better on the comments. So this is a Kiwi Pale. It's a hazy pale, so it's not going to be a West Coast type of beer. It's got hops on it. It's got hops in it. Of course it's got hops in it. Motueka, Nelson Sauvin and Chinook. So Motueka, Nelson Sauvin. I'm sure Chinook's an American hop. Does it say that? It just says it's a trio of New Zealand hops. I'm sure Chinook is not from New Zealand. I could be wrong. Maybe there's a New Zealand Chinook. And it's got, lime and gooseberry. You'd expect that from, Nelson Sauvin and Motueka, certainly. IBU, and this is 25. So the last one was 40. So that is definitely a New England style. It's got extra pale, light Munich wheat, oat. So it's got all the stuff that you want. Hopefully a hazy, tasty beer. It's got good, you don't see many supermarket, I'll say that. You don't see as many supermarket beers. Compare with what you see in the bottle shops. With New Zealand hops in it. Certainly not that they make a big thing about it. So I'm hopeful that the hops will do the business. Is a pale ale. I'll just tell you, I think it's 4 point something. I'll let you know. 4.6. So pretty much what you would expect from a pale ale in terms of ABV. Well, beer in a glass. We've got this, it's a light hazy, but you'd expect that from a pale. It looks very much like a pale ale. We've got literally two fingers are quite loose, but quite white head. It's a pale ale and it looks just like one. Let's see what the aroma's like. Right, there is slight hints of, there's certainly the sort of hints of light citrus, lemons and limes. But it's very subtle. There is a sort of slightly sort of funkiness. I don't think funkiness is the right word. There's that Nelson Sauvin aroma, the grape, the gooseberry, that is in there. It's actually coming through. The more I sort of take a big sniff of it, I can smell it. Yeah, it's definitely what you'd expect from a pale ale with those hops in it. There's none of that weird sort of, it doesn't smell artificial, it doesn't smell like a supermarket beer standard. So let's tuck in and see. Fingers crossed, could this be as good as New England IPA? Cheers, everyone. It's okay. Very, very light to the point. I mean, it's a pale ale. And I suppose sometimes when I drink pale ales from Polly's and other breweries, but they're not many. Rivington, there's another one. I've had a few pale ales from them being pretty good. You get a little, it's almost like a lighter IPA, but this is like a pale ale, as you'd expect. A traditional pale ale in terms of the body. It's close almost. It's slightly softer than a lager. It's not as carbonated, but there's still a bit of zippy carbonation. And it has this sort of quite watery sort of mouthfeel. But it's refreshing. The flavours they're a little subdued, but you always get that with a pale ale, really. A bog standard pale ale. But there are those hints of the gooseberry and the grape, the lemons and limes. There's definitely that in there. There's no bitterness. It's light, but it's smooth as well. As I said, it's a little bit the hops are obviously, we've got the hops in there, we get the flavours of the hops. but there's a lack of them. It is, as soon as you're sort of going, oh, there's a little bit of flavour there, it just sort of washes itself away really quickly. But it's one of those sort of beers that I could quite easily sink 3 or 4 of these on a summer's day. I just want something refreshing and beery, opposed to just drinking water or squash or Coke or whatever. It's not bad. But it's again, I suppose for me, in terms of rating it and reviewing it, it's a pale ale. I don't drink many pale ales. And so even if I just drank, say I drink 10 pale ales from bottle shops where I'm paying maybe £4 or a bit more for, I reckon that there'd be a lot of them that I would go, yeah, it's okay, but it's a pale ale. There's no flavour. As soon as you start drinking double IPAs, pale ales taste even watery. I mean, even I get that sometimes with IPAs now, which is incredible. If it's a 6% IPA, sometimes I'll go, I'm needing a bit more flavour. But it's refreshing, and for £1.50, you can't go wrong. I mean, I'd almost say it's up there with, nearly up there, with something like Faith, the Pale Ale Faith, which, everyone's drank. It's refreshing, it's good. But this has got a little bit more of that New Zealand flavour to it. But it's still at the same time very easy drinking. Yeah, I think it's good. And it's I'll tell you what, it's 10 times better than the Nectaron one. It really is. Again, that was it's a West sort of coast style, so maybe I was a bit harsh, but I think I did drink it, I didn't throw it away. And the New England IPA, I mean, that for me is almost like a perfect supermarket beer, especially for the price. But this isn't bad. I could quite easily sink a few of these. £1.50. Yeah, I think it's a winner. To be honest, for £1.50, I don't think you can find much better for that price point. So let's get some scores. Okay, let's do the scores for Love Lane Kiwi Pale. This is obviously an AI image, if you can see that. I don't know why my phone is not focusing stuff well. Focus. It seems to be lacking of the focus there. But if you can see this, this image, it's like one of those things that, all the things that was the rage where they're sort of doing a little kit with a person. I mean, I did it for work as well. One of the guys at work, I did one for it, and it's obviously got a very Aussie guy, a beard, sunglasses. You got the Australian flag. What? No, it's not Aussie, is it? It's New Zealand, is it? New Zealand guy, although you could almost say that's New Zealand, whatever that thistle thing is. I don't know whether it's a Kiwi. It's a Kiwi sign up. Is it thistle? I don't know. And all the stuff, we've got a little ukulele there and, bits and bobs. But that's been created by AI, and there's no doubting that. Unless somebody has taken the AI thing and then just done it themselves. But I reckon they just done it in AI because it's pretty simple to do. I don't know where I'm going with that. So this is Hazy Pale Ale. Let's do the scores because I'm enjoying it. I've nearly drank it. It's a little moreish. I tell you what, this is a good beer. So let's do the scores. Starting with aroma. There's definitely, you can smell the hops in there. You get the gooseberry, you get the grape, and you get light citrus, lemons and limes. So I think it's fairly pleasant. I'm giving it 14 for aroma. Appearance, well, it's a pale ale. It's a nice hazy one. It's a nice lacing of this glass there. Oh, I nearly spit it everywhere. It's okay. I mean, it's standard pale stuff. So I'll give it a 7. Flavour wise, it gets better as I drink it. I mean, I could have quite easily drank 2 or 3 of these. Flavour's nice. It is a pale ale, so it's a very watery. The mouth feels light. But again, summer day, hot sun, you want to drink something fairly sessionable. You want it light, but you want a bit of flavour to it. This is pretty good. I'm going to give it a good score for flavour. I'm going to give it 34 for flavour. Value for money, well, I think for a pale ale at £1.49, with the flavour that it has and the drinkability, has to get a 9. I'm not quite giving it a 10, but I'm giving it a 9. A pretty high score anyway. And then my overall experience, well, again, it's not something that I'd want to drink much, because I'd rather spend a bit more money and get something with a bit more body, a bit more oomph. But it's really drinkable. It's a lot closer to the New England IPA from Love Lane than the Nectaron, and it's, in terms of pales, you know, I think it's up there with the likes of Faith. I'm thinking of other pale ales that I would drink from a supermarket. There ain't many, to be honest, but I think it's pretty good. So my overall experience, I'm giving it a 14. I think it's fair, you know. I think the scores are a little bit. If this was an IPA and I was sort of talking about it, I'd probably give it higher. But it's just because it's a pale ale. So let's do the scores: 21, 55, 64, 74. Well, we still get a 78 out of 100, which is a recommended, and it's at the high end of the recommended. I think ultimately I'm rating this basically because it's £1.50, less than £1.50. It's got the flavours I like. It's very, very drinkable. I've drank it down. It's a perfect summer beer. So if you're in Home Bargains and you want a beer, you just think, oh, maybe you've got some people coming round and you think, oh, I want to show them some craft beer. This is a good example. I said it in the Nectaron one, was that if you drank that and you never drank craft beer before, you probably wouldn't necessarily want to drink anything else craft beer, because you'd associate with that. Now, if you drink this beer, if you give this to your friends, this is a great introductory craft beer flavour, because you get the flavour. It's very drinkable. There's no bitterness in there. There's no weird, strange flavours. So I think it's a great starter for this. And then as people start drinking it, and then if you give them an IPA from a sort of slightly decent sort of brewery, with New Zealand hops in it, it will blow their bloody mind. That's what it will do. But this is a good introduction, and there's no fear in £1.49. So, great beer. Home and Bargains. Home Bargains. I always want to say Home and Bargains, even though it's Home Bargains. They should change the name because I don't like Home Bargains. Home Bargains, Love Lane. You've done it. You've done it with this beer. This is very good. So keep up. More of this, less of the Nectaron stuff. Definitely worth your time. But if you've had it, let me know in the comments what you think. If you haven't had it, if I said to you, right, well, if you go to a supermarket and you buy a pale ale, what's it going to be? What would you choose? Have I missed something obvious? For me, Faith is pretty solid in terms of a pale ale. If you want something with refreshment, Northern Monk did some other ones as well, that were pale ales that were in the Hellfire Club or something like that. They weren't bad as well, but there may be some others. Let me know in the comments. And until the next one, well, please like, subscribe, drink good craft beer, and of course, keep on rocking.